Here's something the people lounging on super yachts won't tell you. The yacht is almost never making them money. It's burning it at a rate that would bankrupt most companies. Today, I'll show you how you'd actually acquire one, the real sticker prices, the 10% rule that governs this whole world, the charter trick that claws back millions, and why the smartest money often rents the dream instead of owning it. First, the sticker price, because it's the number everyone fixates on. A used 60 to 80-foot yacht, a big boat but not a super one, runs $1 to $5 million. A true entry super yacht around 100 feet starts near $10 million. A 150-footer with a professional crew runs $25 to $50 million. And the 200-foot-plus giants you see in Monaco start around $100 million and climb past $500 million, with tenders and helicopters and submarines bolted on like accessories. Big numbers. But here's the twist this entire episode turns on. The purchase price is genuinely the cheap part, because here's the rule that governs this world. A yacht costs roughly 10% of its value every single year just to run. That's the famous 10% rule, and it's brutally real. Take a $30 million yacht. That's about $3 million a year, every year, before it sails anywhere. Where does it actually go? Start with the crew. A boat that size runs 8 to 12 full-time professionals, and a good captain alone earns $1 to $200,000 a year. So crew wages clear $1 million annually with salaries, food, uniforms, and rotations. Then dockage. A prime Mediterranean berth in high season can run thousands a night, hundreds of thousands a year if you want the good spots. Insurance runs roughly 1% of the boat's value. Fuel burns hundreds of gallons an hour at cruise. And maintenance never stops, because salt water is quietly eating the boat every single day. The rule of thumb is repaint and refit every 5 years, and a proper refit can cost millions on its own. And there's a second cost that's even sneakier: depreciation. Unlike a business that throws off cash, a yacht is a depreciating toy. A new yacht can lose 30 to 40% of its value in the first 5 years, and the market for used ones is thin. Boats sit for years waiting for the one buyer rich enough and romantic enough to want them. So the owner of that $30 million boat isn't just paying $3 million a year in running costs. They're also watching a couple million a year quietly evaporate off the asset itself while it gets harder to sell. So how do you actually buy one? There's a whole machine for it. You go through a yacht broker, you sea trial the boat, and you never, ever skip the full professional survey, because hidden corrosion or a tired engine room can cost millions to put right. Yes, there's financing. Marine lenders typically want 20 to 30% down and hard proof of wealth, so the $30 million yacht still needs $6 to $9 million in cash up front, plus loan payments on the rest. And where you register it matters enormously. Most big yachts fly offshore flags like the Cayman Islands or Marshall Islands because the flag decides the tax treatment, the crew rules, and whether you're even allowed to charter. Get the flag wrong in European waters and you can trip a value-added tax bill worth a fifth of the boat. And this is where the charter trick comes in, the closest thing yachting has to a business model. When the owner isn't on board, a management company charters the boat to wealthy renters at $150,000 to $300,000 a week for a $30 million boat, plus expenses on top. Do 15 or 20 charter weeks a year, and the boat grosses $3 to $5 million. Now, the honesty. The management company takes 20 to 30%. Charter guests add wear and crew overtime, and the owner gives up the best summer weeks. Charters usually don't make a yacht profitable. What they do is offset a huge slice of the running costs. Sometimes most of that yearly $3 million, and in some jurisdictions running the boat as a genuine charter business unlocks real tax advantages on the purchase too. The realistic goal is a yacht that costs you hundreds of thousands a year instead of millions. In this game, that's what winning looks like. Now the honest deal math on the $30 million yacht, all of it. Running costs, about $3 million a year. Depreciation, call it $2 million. That's $5 million a year, all in, if it just sits there looking beautiful. Charter it aggressively and you might claw back $2 to $2.5 million net after the management cut. So the true cost of ownership lands between $2 and $3 million a year, pre-tax, on a good year, with strangers sleeping in your cabins half the summer. That's the real number, and it's why the yacht itself is never the investment. The investment is whatever business pays for the yacht. Which brings us to the landmines. 1. The survey. Skip it, and you're buying a floating mystery box with million-dollar surprises. 2. The crew. A bad captain can wreck the boat's condition, its safety record, and its charter reputation in a single season. 3. The flag and tax setup, which changes everything about what the boat costs and what it's allowed to earn. And 4. The classic. Buying too big. Every extra 10 feet multiplies crew, dockage, fuel, and refit costs. And the graveyard of yachting is full of people who could afford to buy the boat, but not to run it. So here's the truth underneath the fantasy. For almost everyone below the deep super rich, the smart move is the same one we saw with the private jet. Rent the dream. Charter someone else's yacht for 2 or 3 incredible weeks a year, pay a tiny fraction of ownership, and let their money burn instead of yours. And if you ever do buy one, buy it like an acquirer. Survey everything, flag it properly, charter it hard, and make the running costs someone else's problem for as many weeks a year as you can. Own the access, not the anchor. So that's the super yacht, the most beautiful money-losing machine on Earth, and now you know the real math behind it. This is Acquisition Insider, showing you how the machine really works. Subscribe.